Hi and welcome, I'm Shannon and I'm a binge eating and intuitive eating coach. In this video, we are covering all or nothing thinking and how it relates to binge eating, including how to move through it and past it, because most people who struggle with binge eating also are struggling a lot with the all or nothing thinking and thoughts. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to our channel because we post weekly content on binge eating recovery. All or nothing thinking is when the mind uses extreme categories to describe something. It is also sometimes referred to as black and white thinking. All or nothing thinking is what we call a cognitive distortion, which essentially means a thought pattern that causes you to perceive reality in an incorrect and often negative way. All or nothing thinking can come up in a lot of different ways for different people, but it's really common in folks who struggle with binge eating. If you've ever found it challenging to stay on a diet food plan, that is not your fault. It's because a lot of them are rooted in all or nothing thinking and behaviors, leaving little room for flexibility. So what do these all or nothing thoughts sound like? I'll give some general examples as well as some related directly to binge eating. So perhaps you start eating a carton of ice cream and you find yourself halfway through it and you say to yourself, well, I've already ruined the day, I've already eaten this much ice cream, I might as well finish it. And there's that compulsion there. That is an example of all or nothing thinking controlling our behaviors and thoughts around food. Or perhaps you get an A- on a paper, and that's an incredible grade, obviously, but you feel guilty because you feel like you could have gotten an A and you can't even enjoy the A- because the A is your sole purpose and focus. Another example of all or nothing thinking could be that you want to incorporate exercise into your life, but you feel like you either have to do it every single day or it's not even worth it. And so you opt to either do it every day or not at all. And another example of all or nothing thinking could be you eat something that you weren't planning on, kind of like the ice cream example, and you're beating yourself up about it because you feel like you ruined the day, and then you just binge because you feel like you've already ruined the day. All or nothing thinking can come up in all of the different areas in our life, including career, relationships, food, body, etc. And it can keep us in this endless cycle of not taking care of ourselves and not finding ourselves making progress because we're constantly feeling like we're not enough. So how can you spot all or nothing thinking and try to combat it? The first step is to be aware that it's happening and when it's happening. This may take a little bit of getting used to, especially if you're used to just passively acknowledging your thoughts or not paying any attention to them. So it might take some time for you to be able to really listen to yourself, and that's okay. But this is really, really important. A good way to start is look for the language in the thoughts that you're telling yourself. Are the words always or never coming up a lot? Those are really good signals that the thought is rooted in all or nothing thinking. So an example here could be, I always mess up on my eating. This is why I will never love my body. I would start to write down the thoughts that are coming up for you, either in a notebook or on a note in your phone, so that you can start to pick up on patterns, because you'll notice that a lot of these thoughts are repeating or around a same topic or issue. And so if you're able to recognize them and find patterns, it's easier to spot them from here on out. So once you're aware of these thoughts, and again, it can take some time, it's time now to start to unpack the thoughts. So using the example before, I always mess up with my eating, I'm never going to love my body, we can unpack that by asking questions like the following. Is it true that I always mess up? How would I define mess up? Is there a way I can expand my flexibility in what I'm eating and how I feel about my eating? Am I being too restrictive and hard on myself? What evidence do I have that I'll never love my body? Am I putting too much pressure on myself to love my body? Should I work towards body neutrality first rather than feeling like I have to love my body? Okay, so I know I just spit a lot at you, but those types of questions are what you want to be asking yourself when you have these all or nothing thoughts, so that you can start to unpack them. As you're unpacking these thoughts, it's easier to see the truth in the situation at hand. The last step is to actually rewrite the thought. And you can do this either in your head or on paper if you'd like. So we would take our original example, I always mess up on my eating and therefore I'm never going to love my body. And then we can reframe it. I didn't plan to eat that, but that's okay. I can still work towards respecting my body. This is a much more supportive and kind thought than the first one. This is the kind of thing that you would tell a family member or a close friend, someone that you care about. And that's exactly what you want to be doing here, is having your thoughts support you. So I know that diving into your thoughts can be exhausting because we have thousands and thousands of thoughts a day. You don't have to do this with every thought, but the more and more you get used to doing it, the easier it will be to start to hear the positive thoughts and to shut down that all or nothing thinking. If this continues to be a challenge for you, I highly encourage you to look into cognitive behavioral therapy and resources. It's abbreviated as CBT. And this is a mode of therapy that's really beneficial for recognizing these types of thoughts and other cognitive distortions that might be getting in your way. CBT is also one of the best therapy modes for people with binge eating. I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.